What's up, dudes? It's Jeremy, and I just wanted to make a discussion video on The Revenant because I just went and saw it Friday, and there's a couple big things that I wanted to talk about. I first just want to say I thought this was a phenomenal movie. Obviously the best one of 2016. It probably would have been my favorite of 2015 if it had come out. I anticipated it on Christmas Day, but it was pushed back, so it's all fine. But anyways, there's a lot of big things that people are talking about. So first and foremost, the length. So many people were complaining about the length, and they said that it just took them out of it. They wish there hadn't been dream sequences or whatever. And I think that every minute of that movie was right where it needed to be. And I've heard some people say, like, well, that was the point. It was so long. The director wanted to make you feel like you're there, like, because it was so long. No, that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. It's also really easy to go back now and say, like, oh yeah, that's why we did it. I don't think that at all. I think that they just had a lot of shit that they wanted to put in this movie, and I thought it was every minute was well spent. The dream sequences, I don't have any complaints with that. I don't think that they needed to be taken out. They could have, but I don't think they needed to. I felt like it was, even though it didn't add to the story, Glass doesn't have like any lines hardly in this movie, so it, to me, was kind of another window to see what's going through his head, other than just relying on Leonardo Dicaprio's facial expressions and eye movements. Which brings me to my second point, which is that the performances were just absolutely incredible in this movie. Tom Hardy and Leo both fucking nailed it. I could easily see them both getting the Oscar or whatever, but I don't think that either one outdid the other. I think that they both had very diverse roles. Leo, 90% of his expression is done with his eyes and his face, and I think that it takes a lot of talent to do that, and I thought he did really well. Tom Hardy, of course, has like a speaking role or a more, I don't want to say normal role, but like traditional role, I guess. And he did an amazing job at that too. His accent was on point. His, just listening to him talk was enjoyable. His story about the squirrel god, that was great. I went on an early afternoon on Friday, and there wasn't a whole lot of parts where like people in the theater talked, but it was mostly an older crowd, or like a lot of retired people. And one of the parts when Tom Hardy says, well, maybe you should have raised a man instead of a little whiny bitch, that was like one of those parts when the whole theater just went, oh, and then some guy was like, get him, Leo. That was fucking great. But I hated his character so much, which is good. I mean, that means that he did a great job. And then Leo, and another argument I've seen is that Leo's character was too good. I don't think he was too good. I think he was just really hell-bent on surviving and killing Fitzgerald. I would have been too. So, and I might be wrong in saying this, but I thought that when he's asked Domhnall Gleeson, I don't remember his character's name, but when he's asked if he really killed that officer, he says, I just killed a man who was trying to kill my son. So to me, that kind of just threw out any idea that he's too good of a character or anything like that. I don't think it was complete good versus evil. I think it was just dude versus dude. Well, Tom Hardy was pretty evil. So let's see, the length, the performances, the cinematography, obviously, like, so beautiful. Visually the best movie, I had to think, that I have ever seen. I'm 100% confident in saying that. Absolutely beautiful. And there were so many, it's really a pretty quiet movie. There's a lot of like completely silent parts, and I wasn't bored at all because of the visuals of the movie was just so good. Now, if we break it down like scene by scene and stop talking about the movie overall, we'll start with that first scene, which was like, it was so good. I was like glued to the screen. I could not believe how incredible how amazing the choreography, the camera work, how all of that was done so well. I thought it was really interesting. I saw somebody pointed out that we're following each character, or we're following a character until he's killed, or whatever, and then you follow the character that killed that person, or a nearby character, because there were some of them that were just hit by arrows. But you're basically just following each person to their death, and it was just so like gripping and enticing. And everyone was so silent in the theater because it was just amazing. It was so jaw-dropping. Then the next big one was definitely the grizzly scene, which was that I think the length did have a purpose in that scene, because it was a very long scene, and holy shit, I felt so uncomfortable. And I know that's the point. I just felt disturbed watching it, because like I would be like holding my breath watching the movie, like, and then like the bear would stop for a minute and it was like, okay, and then the bear would fucking go at it again, and it was like, oh, and I just, wow, that was the movie, like that scene, but that scene especially, but the movie in general just felt like it had so much weight to it. It was so like heavy, and that final fight scene definitely resonates with that too, because that was not like a fast fight. There weren't people doing like fucking spin moves and shit. It was just like, it looked like a pretty realistic fight if two dudes covered in a whole bunch of bear fur and stuff started fighting after they're out there freezing and they were already injured and that kind of thing. When Tom Hardy's fingers get chopped off, that was the only other time during the movie where a bunch of people were like, oh, and it caught me, because it was just like really nonchalant, like bottom left corner of the screen, like, oh, there goes Tom Hardy's fingers, like, holy shit. The end, let's talk about the end. A lot of people did not like, I shouldn't say a lot of people, I guess, but some people weren't a fan of the end, this thing. And then it just cuts to black. And I don't think there was really any problem with that. I don't know if it's a debate or not, because I don't think it's been talked about enough, because the movie's only been out for a couple days. But like, that motherfucker is dead. Like, that's what that was at the end. His wife, she's like, you're good. You got your revenge. She walks away, and he looks at the camera, and he's like, I'm done. I'm going to sleep. I'm fucking dead. That's what I think, at least. Maybe that's not the case. I'm very intrigued to read the book now, that's for sure, if it's anything like that. If it's anywhere near as good as the movie. So those are the big things that I want to talk about. I've been going on for way too long already. Let me know what you're thinking, dudes. Please leave your comments below. Feel free to like, subscribe, and stick around. I'm going to be doing some more discussions. So thanks for watching, dudes.